want to welcome you to the 2025 Municipal Candidates Forum for the Town of St. Paul. If you are looking for a seat, you haven't found one yet, there are a handful here at the front and a couple on the side. So please make your way, and we're going to get going. My name is Dana Severson. I work for the... Oh. How's that? Better? Worse? Solid? Medium? Okay. If I get too yelly over here, you guys we gotta balance this out somehow. My name is Dana Severson. I am from the Alberta Chambers of Commerce, and I want to thank you for having me here tonight to act as your moderator for your forum. The St. Paul and District Chamber of Commerce is very pleased to host this forum, providing yourselves, voters, the opportunity to hear directly from the candidates who are seeking your support in the upcoming municipal election. Our goal tonight is to create a respectful and informative environment where each candidate has equal opportunity to share their vision for St. Paul. This forum's not a debate. Instead, it's designed to highlight each candidate's priorities and ideas, giving you, the voters, the information you need to make an informed choice. The St. Paul and District Chamber of Commerce respectfully acknowledges that it is situated within Treaty 6 territory, the homeland of the Métis, Dene, Saulteaux, and Cree people, and part of the trading route and gathering route for other Indigenous nations. On behalf of the St. Paul and District Chamber of Commerce, I would like to thank Tyler Fodchuk of Crimson Sky Sound for the audio, so you guys can all hear me in the back, and Ideal Carpets and Interiors for sponsoring the video recording, and of course, all of the volunteers that have put in countless hours coordinating tonight's forum. We can give them a quick round of applause. So the program tonight is going to give candidates the opportunity to present their platforms on issues relating to municipal government. As your moderator, I will keep a close eye on the content of candidate presentations. Any comments or questions from submissions of a personal nature will be ruled unacceptable. We're all here to give all candidates the opportunity to express their views on municipal issues. All presentations will receive specified times with a warning signal when the candidate is running close to the end of their time. And with that, I would like to take a moment to familiarize everyone with the rules of order for tonight. So these were communicated to the candidates prior to this evening. As you guys can see, no signs may be brought in or posted in the facility, so that's attached to any walls, curtains, doors, etc. The forum was called to order promptly at 7 o'clock, and although the doors to the rooms have not been closed, if anyone's coming or going, please just wait till candidates are done speaking before you shuffle back to your seats. We're going to adjourn at 9 o'clock tonight. All the candidates are seated alphabetically at the speakers table, so you guys can see all the way down from their names. They're going to be introduced in alphabetical order. Due to the high numbers, you guys have some incredible engagement from your community members here, but due to the high numbers, each council candidate will have 1 minute for introductions and opening remarks, and 1 minute for a closing statement. The mayoral candidates will have 2 minutes for opening remarks and 2 minutes for a closing statement. The timer, we have an amazing volunteer timer, present himself. He is going to give a 20-second warning by standing up in his very visible shirt to let you know that you're coming close to the end of time, and you'll be waved off, and I will interrupt you like I am breaking up a fight amongst my children if you start to go over your time. And just so you know, no candidates allowed more than their allotted time. In advance of tonight, the Chamber reached out to the public to submit questions for the forum, so I have those here. Volunteers at the Chamber have gone through these questions already to avoid some redundancy. During the question period, we're going to have a maximum of 3 councillors answering any one question at a time. We will have all mayoral candidates answering a question at the same time, and we'll rotate the order of speaking so that no one is starting first and ending first each time. Any person who unreasonably attempts to use the question period as a platform for expressing a point of view on any issue will be ruled out of order. And answers to the questions will be limited to 1 minute to maximize the number of questions that can be fielded in the time allotted. And I hold a mighty pen, so the moderator has final jurisdiction in all matters. So a couple guidelines for attendees. I don't think that I need to really impress upon this much. You guys seem pretty incredible. Be respectful of the candidates that are presenting their remarks and all of the other community members here that have come to hear their presentations. If there's excessive cheering from supporters and candidates are unable to speak, they will not be given additional time, so let them use their time. But if there's any negative commentary that's preventing them from being able to speak, we'll stop the clock, start it over, and allow them to have their presentation in full. So with that being said, I'm very pleased to welcome the candidates to this evening's forum. I'm going to apologize in advance if I do have anyone's name incorrectly. But for mayoral candidates, we have Glenn Anderson and Sylvie Smeal. For town council candidates, we have Ronald Boisvert. All right, I'm close. Maurice Brosseau, Bradley Amon, David Fodness, David Inchko, Timothy Krakowski, Luxmanen Kolangsgam? Close-ish? Not even at all. I'm very sorry. John Lipinski, Norman Noel, Nathan Roschuk, Roger Routier, Dean Smeal, Sid Sood, Nathan Taylor, Robert Tomlinson, Gary Ward, and Dwight Weeb. So thank you all for taking the time to come out tonight. It's very appreciated. So again, each of the council candidates will have 1 minute to share their opening remarks, and the Reeve or mayor candidates will have 2 minutes. Speaking order is in alphabetical order, so I would like to start by calling upon our mayoral candidates to share their opening remarks for 2 minutes, starting with you, Glenn.
Thank you, Dana. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, fellow candidates. Dana, thank you. My name is Glenn Anderson, and I'm a mayoral candidate in the 2025 election. I have been campaigning around, and I think the major issue I see here, one of the issues is property taxes. And it has been increased over the past few years. As your assessment on your property goes down, they increase the mill rate, and your property taxes go up. So as we're saying this, your property is getting worthless, but your taxes are going up. They're getting quite high. In my neighborhood, there's $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a year for taxes. And so what that does is it affects our local economy. People come in, it's not for buying a house. They look at the property, they look at the price of the property, then they automatically ask for the taxes. That just happened the other day. These people chose to live in Bonnyville. The taxes were $2,500. They got an acre of land, and the place was cheaper. If you want our town and region to grow, we have to do better. Now, maybe the decisions were made to do this because lack of government funding, that can change things as well. But with that being said, we have to be innovative in the way we do business here as well. So you look at our town, our county, and the town of Elk Point. There's 3 municipalities competing against each other for the same grant dollars, everything. We all want this, we all want this. So when you look at Alberta, can digress a bit, you look at Highway 2. Highway 2 goes down the middle of Alberta, and where's everybody? They're all on the west side or right along Highway 2. You got to go 2 hours to get to 3 municipalities first that get the least amount of linear assessment in the lakeland. So here we are competing with each other for the same dollar. Scraps or whatever, the MD of Bonnyville and town of Bonnyville got major infrastructure, major linear assessment, and we have nothing. So
Thank you, Glenn. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Good evening, everyone. I always speak too close to the mic. My apologies. I first of all want to thank the council that's here and those that have been in the past 4 years for your service to the community. And Miss Mayor Maureen Miller is here in the community. Thank you. Regardless, whether it's Glenn or I, there's some very big shoes to fill. Glenn, I think your shoes are maybe bigger than mine, but I appreciate your service to the community. I know that Mayor Maureen has her heart on the sleeve. First of all, I grown up, raised here, raised our family here. We have 4 daughters. 3 of them have moved away from the community post-secondary. Now, what they say when I say, "Are you going home?" That is when they are home with us. They say, "This is home. This is home for us. This will always be home for us." University is not home. It's a transition. And so if we can view our community as home for our children, then we will see that it will be a better place, that we can have services for the growth of the youth, sustainable growth in our community. Fiscally accountable. Now, I think the town council has done a great job at sharing so much on the website. If you go on their intermunicipal development plans, the recreational surveys, all the information is out there. There's a lot of information to comb through because there's lots. There will be a huge amount of growth for me. However, I am the current board chair for the Board of Education, St. Paul Education. I know governance. I know how to work with the council. And sometimes it's, I'm sorry, men, nice to have a woman at the table. I would really love to help the women in the community as well have a voice, so that we can, bring us women have a different voice and different concerns than some of the men. So I appreciate your time.
Okay, so we'll move into the council candidates. 1 minute for your opening remarks. And yes, Ronald, please go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Ron Bover. Can you hear me back there? Okay. I came to St. Paul in 1973 to work for Service Credit Union as a loan manager. I worked till 2006. In 2006, I went to work for the town of St. Paul as CAO, worked for them for 9 years. Of course, I did all the operating budgets, the capital budgets, along with my management team and staff at that time. I had a great team and staff, and the town still has a great team and staff. In 2015, I retired, and then in 2017, I was elected to council. 2021, I was re-elected. My concept is I got to work as a team member with the rest of council if I get elected, and I wish everybody luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronald. Maurice?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Maurice Brousseau. I was born and raised in the St. Paul area. In 2013, my wife and I made a decision to move back to St. Paul to raise our 3 boys right here where we were both raised. I also bring experience in senior management, local government, and in the banking sector, having worked as a branch manager at Service Credit Union. That background gave me the solid understanding of budgets, planning, and how to work with people and to get things done. Many of you know me through my volunteer work in town here as a football coach, soccer coach, president and vice president of the local soccer association. I've also had the privilege of serving on the Parks and Rec board for the past 8 years. I'm running for council because I believe in our town's strong focusing on 2 key priorities: finding new sources of revenue to help balance our expenses, especially when it comes to property taxes and utilities, creating the right conditions for growth, including industrial and commercial development, as well as diverse housing options. I care deeply about this community and be honored to earn.
Thank you, Maurice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bradley?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. I think I said this last election. This is the hardest job interview ever. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Brad Eamon. I'm a husband, a father of 3, and I manage a local business in town. I have proudly served on the St. Paul Town Council, and I'm running for re-election because I believe in this community, and I believe in getting the job done. This isn't always an easy job, believe that or not. It takes time, commitment, and true character to make the tough calls. I've always shown up with a purpose to be real, accountable, and consistent. I will continue to advocate and focus on community priorities such as healthcare and partnerships with the County of St. Paul. We have the oldest hospital in Alberta. We have pushed hard for the $3.2 million in upgrades, and that's a great win, but we can't back off. We need to align and strategize with the County of St. Paul and deliver better services for our region. I will leave this town in a better place than when I found it.
Thank you, Brad. David?
Good evening. I'm David Fodness. I'm glad to see so many of you here tonight who care about our community and want to hold our town government accountable. My roots run deep here. I lived in St. Paul my entire life, raised a family, and for 15 years ran my own business, giving me a strong practical knowledge of financial management. Over the past year, I've attended all council meetings, learning exactly how decisions are made and some that aren't made at a municipal level. But my best education has come from listening to you. As I've walked our neighborhoods, these serious concerns have consistently been brought to my attention. Soaring taxes and water rates are straining family budgets and severely impacting our seniors on fixed incomes. And the rise in visible crime and vagrancy has left many residents feeling unsafe in their own community. These are your concerns, and I promise to be the voice that brings them directly to the council.
Thank you. David.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, everyone. Very, very pleased to see each and every one of you. And hello to all my fellow candidates. My name is David Insko. I was born in Whitehorse, Yukon Territory quite a while ago. Where my parents had a farm at St. Lina. We moved back down to the family farm when I was very small. In 2011, my family, my wife and I, we decided to move to St. Paul permanently. We sold the farm, we sold our acreages, and we moved to town. Since the year 2000, I've been heavily involved with the Legion in Mallaig. I'm still involved with the Legion in Mallaig. I have been involved with both the Sea Cadets and the Army Cadets in Mallaig and here. I've also held several posts within the Wild Rose Party at the provincial executive level. I do know an awful lot of people in those levels, and on my closing, when I have an opportunity to close, I will go further into my platform so that everybody can understand exactly where I'm at and where I'm coming from. Thank you.
Timothy?
Good evening. My name is Tim Krikoski, and I'm very proud to be born and raised on a farm just outside of St. Paul. I've built my career on leadership and accountability, whether it was managing local businesses like PV Mart and a theater, helping establish the Chamber of Commerce as a full-time voice for our community, or creating and guiding national change management at ADP Canada. What I've seen in our town is concerning, which is why I've decided to run for council. 8 straight years of property tax increases, 3 increases in water rates in 1 year, raises for council members, a lack of transparency on how your money is being spent. St. Paul deserves better. I believe in fiscal responsibility, openness, and putting residents first. With my experience and commitment to this community, I will work to ensure tax dollars are spent wisely, priorities are clear, and council decisions are made with full transparency. Together we can build a stronger, more accountable St. Paul. Vote for change. Thank you.
Thank you. Laxmanan?
Good evening, friends and neighbors and my fellow citizens. My priorities for our community is support economic growth, encourage new businesses, include home-based businesses. I also push for transparency and efficiency and accountability on taxpayers' money or town spendings. I am Laxman Kulasingam, and I am running for town councillor to 2025. First, I came to St. Paul in 2006. I was a single young man, working long hours in the oil patches, live in remote camps across Alberta. In 2015, I got married, and me and my wife bought a house in St. Paul, and step by step, we start the life here. We had 4 kids. They all born in St. Paul.
Thank you. Thank you. And John?
You know, in our tradition, standing up, that's respect the people who are in front of you. Can I start now? As a member of the Ukrainian community, I want to sincerely thank you, people of St. Paul, for your kindness and support for our refugees and our country in war. My name is John Lepinsky. I live here with my wife, Angela, and we raised here 3 children. For over 30 years, We are building here business in gas industry and safety, focused on safety protection and environment. Together with my wife, we are granted over, my wife, she says, several patents. Through my leadership in corporate and not-for-profit organizations, we have learned that good governance means more than attending meetings. It requires experience, dedication, and integrity. My priorities are clear: fiscal responsibility, accountability, and building a safe, thriving community that attracts and retains professionals, especially doctors, healthcare workers, and other professionals which are needed in this town. Together we can build St. Paul a place where the family feels secure, residents are respected, and business will grow.
Thank you. Norman?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Norm Noel, and I'm proud to be seeking re-election for our town council. I was born and raised in St. Paul, and I've spent my life serving people of St. Paul. I spent 30 years helping friends and neighbors at Zeroni Motors. I worked 2 years at Smil RV and have worked a couple terms now at Town Hall for you people. I'm running again for a simple reason. Progress shouldn't depend on who's in the chair. It should depend on what's best for our community. Over the past term, I focused on the basics that matter, trying to make our community safer, reliable infrastructure, responsible budgeting, and support for families, seniors, and local businesses. I believe in listening first and then acting, common sense, and being transparent about every dollar we spend. In the next term, I want to keep momentum and fix what aging infrastructure we have before it fails, cut red tape for small business, strengthen recreation and library, and keep taxes predictable without cutting essential services. I don't promise headlines, I promise hard work, steady hands, and open doors. I'd be honored to earn your support to keep moving our town forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Nathan?
All right, so we're already working together here. Us three decided to sit for our portion here, so that's why I'm here. Cam, Brenda, love you. Appreciate you supporting me. I'm 18 years from St. Paul now, didn't grow up here. Tax-paying resident, father, husband, business owner for 16 years. I know the trials and tribulations with dealing with all that. I'm here to work hard. I'm here for my family, for your family. I see myself as running with everyone here tonight, not against. I think everybody here wants the same for our town. I'm committed. We want to be here long term. Our daughter's 11. I look on the last 4 years, where we're at now, and where are we going to be in 4 years from now. So I want to be a big part of that. I have options and I think a skill set that would help the town of St. Paul. I'm honest, open, and will be very hardworking. Thank you.
Thank you. Roger?
Good evening, everybody. I was born and raised in St. Paul. However, I believe we could do things a little bit different as far as our local politics. I believe we need to look at our local politics with conversations about amalgamating the town of St. Paul, the county of St. Paul, the town of Elk Point, and the summer village of Horseshoe Bay into one governing body. Such a model would require about half of the elected officials that these 4 areas currently employ. There would be further savings between shared services, and with a higher total population with just one governing body, we may be more successful in drawing in more businesses to the area and in lobbying governments for grants, whether it be provincial or federal, for things like a new hospital, more seniors housing, and things like that. There are other areas in the province that operate this model very successfully, and I think we should go that route. Thank you.
Thank you. Dean?
Good evening. My name is Dean Smeal. I'm a proud family man with deep roots here in St. Paul. This is my first time running for town council, and I'm doing so because I believe our community is strongest when every resident's voice is heard. My priorities are supporting local businesses and economy growth, improving infrastructure and public service, and ensuring St. Paul remains a safe, welcoming place for families. I'm excited for the opportunity to begin a fresh perspective and committed to council and I'm looking forward to working together to build a thriving future for our town. Thank you.
Thank you. Sid?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sid Soot. I'm a resident of town of St. Paul for past 19 years. I worked with several businesses. Now I operate a movie theater for last several years. First thing, thank you for coming here tonight. This is incredible to see you people here, right? I think this is my first time I'm doing a speech in front of these many people. I'm emotional. I'm really emotional. My colleagues, even my administration knows I don't talk much. I really don't talk much. Even you can ask our mayor. But this is cool. This is emotional. So I want your support. And I think positive, like Madam Smil said, she's the only woman on the table, but she's not the only woman in the building. So go with this positivity. Thank you.
Thank you. Nathan?
Thank you for coming out tonight. For those who know me, 1 minute is not enough. If I'm reelected, I will continue with what I've been doing and what I'm sure everyone here is promising, which is to represent your voice, not just during the campaign, but for the next 4 years. What's important is that, but tonight you need to know what we stand for so that you can make a decision. Campaigns should be more than platitudes, more than lines on a brochure like transparency and accountability. They should come with substance. They should come with, so that you can become an informed voter. The substance that I bring to council and for your consideration is available at nathantaylor.ca. There's already some blogs on there with some of the ideas that we've heard about tonight. You can take your phone out right now and start reading if you'd like. If you're looking for in-depth, real answers, you'll find them with me, and you'll find them, as you know, in council. I'm willing to speak up, and you'll find those answers and my thoughts at nathantaylor.ca.
Thank you. Robert?
Good evening, everybody. The town's most valuable asset are their employees. If you give the employees the skills, the tools, and the materials, they will do an excellent job for you. You take one element away from them, and you get substandard service. I'm Robert Tomlinson. I'm glad to be here. We will be laser focused on developing skilled workers for the town. A skilled worker is an efficient worker, and efficiency is key to saving cost-saving measures. Thank you.
Thank you. Gary?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen and fellow candidates. My name is Gary Ward. I have lived in St. Paul since moving here in 1996 to run a business with my wife Angie and children Scott, Craig, and Michelle. We now have 6 wonderful grandchildren. Since moving here, I've joined various boards: St. Paul Minor Hockey, Minor Ball, Cap Arena, Soccer Facilities, St. Paul Junior Canadians, Communities in Bloom. The last 4 years, it's been my privilege to serve the citizens of St. Paul and to have been a part of many accomplishments with the outgoing mayor and current council. St. Paul is a great community to live in, and I would like you to vote. I would like your vote to continue to make St. Paul an excellent place to live, work, and to enjoy the many amenities we have to offer. I will continue to provide leadership, accountability, and transparency on all fronts. I've always said that if you want to make changes and have a voice, you need to step up to the plate, and I thank all the candidates for doing so tonight.
And Dwight?
Good evening, everyone. I want to thank all of the candidates this evening for running for the town of St. Paul. It's a great showing, and it's a showing to us that there are people who are concerned about our community and want to make it the best place that it can be. I'm Dwight Weeb, and many of you know me as Danny White from the time I worked at CHLW Radio. I've worked through there and owned a business here as well, so I do have a vested interest in this community. And like a lot of people do say, they deserve leadership who are accountable and who use physical responsibility in their decision making. But I also want to make mention that I really feel very strongly in the idea of encouraging growth in business and industrial to control taxes, and being proactive and not reactive. So I would just appreciate your support, and I look forward to the time that we spend together this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to take a moment now for anyone that's standing around the room that would like to find seats. We do have some empty seats here and on this side of the room, so if you want to make your way right now before we move into the question and answer period, that would be great. And just a quick reminder, if you do have your phones on YouTube, turn them to vibrate or silent. That would be really appreciated. Thank you. All right, everybody's standing. Okay, I like this. It's a tough crowd. So like I mentioned, we're going to move into the question and answer period. When they announced the forum, the St. Paul and District Chamber of Commerce extended an invitation to the public to submit questions ahead of this evening. If any of you are in the room that put questions forward, thank you very much for being so engaged and involved and bringing these forward. So all candidates, mayor or councillor, will have 1 minute to respond to their questions in groups. We'll move to the next question once those wanting to respond have done so. Candidates are not required to respond, but you can't bank time for a future question. So we are going to start with our mayors. And we'll start with Sylvie. Given our aging infrastructure, what is your strategy to manage our critical infrastructure?
Well, I think it has to start with a vision somewheres, right? It has to start with conversation and honesty. I don't think we can go about it alone. If we can sit at the table, and perhaps this has been done already, but infrastructure as in some of our pools, our recreational facilities, the feasibility study has already been done, right? The feasibility study, what it in there, it's the rec facility is between $60 million to $20 million. That's a 5 to 6 year plan. Is that really fiscally responsible? Or can we come up as a community with something that's smaller scale that we can do now, right? In terms of hospitals, there's so much that we need to do, but I think the council before has already started the work, so I want to again thank them for that.
Thank you.
As far as infrastructure, I'm very confident in the sewage treatment plant. It was just upgraded. It's good for a few more years. That was from the 70s. Water treatment plant is a lot better, ahead of schedule. Probably every 10 years should be upgraded, filter beds, stuff like that. The cast iron water lines in the ground were taken away when I was a councillor and mayor. We took care of that at a good time when the PVC lines were cheaper than they are now. St. Paul doesn't have as many water breaks because the council at the time took care of that stuff and made it a priority. The same thing has to apply to your recreation, to your buildings. You can't rely on finally at the end of the day, this building just needs to go. It's just like St. Paul Education. You have roof examinations and assessments. You have the floor in a Clancy. All of that infrastructure has to get analyzed in a timely manner to prevent that. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to our first set of the first three councillors. If at any time you need me to repeat the question, please just let me know. That's not an issue whatsoever. So starting with Maurice, how will you ensure residents feel heard and included in council decisions?
I think, like myself, I think listening is important, and I'm going door to door, and I probably met half the town. You don't know how many houses there is in town until you start walking door to door. For one, I'm going home. My wife says, I'm so tired. She's like, yeah. Anyways, I think listening to people and actually really listen to them, because like a lot of times the suggestions and answers you need and what people want and or what people are feeling that this town needs is in with just by listening you get those answers. And I think I've heard quite a bit in the last week or so doing some walking. Yeah, I think that's the key, is to make sure that you actually, and then follow through with it. Like if you're gonna bring it in, and then work with the rest of council as well to bring forth those ideas that you're hearing and make it happen. And that's important. That's important. Thank you.
Thank you. Brad?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes. How will you ensure residents feel heard and included in council decisions?
Well, work at a car dealership. You want to talk about being accessible? I'm accessible. But having said that, you know what, transparency with me, we're pretty open. I'm pretty open. You know, we do resident survey, public forums, open houses. We have open communication channels where our contact is posted on the website of the town. You can get a hold of me. I mean, we have accessible agendas along with our meeting minutes. Those things didn't exist 8 years ago at the way they do now. You know, we live stream our meetings. There is the ability to reach out and connect with each and any one of us to have a respectful conversation. Our yearly audited financial statements are presented every year in an open house. It would be great to have this many people being there and looking at our audited financials. They happen every year. You could see what we get paid. You can see that council hasn't had a raise. You know, our land use bylaws, they're out there, they're public, they're forward moving.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just so you know, Ronald, you're going to circle back at the end. I didn't forget about you, but you got to start first, so now you have to wait your turn. Okay. Excellent. David, your turn, please. Did you need the question repeated, or you're good? You bet. How will you ensure residents feel heard and included in council decisions?
First of all, I would make sure people's voices are heard through voting, online voting, making sure everybody is going to be accountable for that. To have more apps put in place for people to access the information. Have people attend more meetings in council would also help. I'm sorry. I'm really nervous, so.
It's okay, it's a room full of friends, so you're in a safe spot. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to move on to our next three councillors, starting with David again. Next, David. When forced with budget pressures, how should council balance their choice between raising taxes and reducing programs or services? I can. When faced with budget pressures, how should council balance their choice between raising taxes and reducing programs or services?
When it comes to raising taxes, I can quite unequivocally state I am not in favor of raising any taxes. I will not be voting for that. Having said that, I think if we are going to maintain services, that one of the first things that has to be done is a complete audit of all departments in the town. We have to know exactly what is working efficiently, what is not working efficiently, where we can work better, where we can work smarter. If we're going to take taxpayers' dollars and going to spend it on services, we have to make sure that those dollars are directed in the most efficient manner possible. And to be very honest, we all have very good people sitting up here that are all running for office. None of us are 100% experts in the efficiency of spending taxpayers' dollars. An audit, I think, would help us all in that respect. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, Timothy?
Thank you. I believe families and businesses in our community deserve relief after 8 straight years of property tax increases. We can't keep asking residents to pay more while council spends without accountability. My focus will be on fiscal accountability, prioritizing essential services, cutting unnecessary spending, and ensuring every dollar is used wisely. By bringing transparency and discipline to council decisions, we can protect the services people rely on while keeping property taxes as low as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Luxmanan? Absolutely. When forced with budget pressures, how should council balance their choices between raising taxes and reducing programs or services?
Yeah, the essential services not need to be cut, and there's outsourcing some services or that kind of stuff can alternate for that, and then collaborate with other municipalities, other organizations can help to cut the duplication or same services, or to cut the expenses. And I will make sure that no unnecessary spendings in the decisions. And then, yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to switch back to our mayoral candidates, starting with Glenn. With rising costs for utilities and property taxes, how would you manage the town's budget to keep services affordable while ensuring long-term financial stability?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't increase the franchise fees so everybody takes a hit on their utility and power bill, because I don't believe that's what the intention of the franchise fee was for. I think as it grows, as municipality grows, there will be pressures, and that goes back to exactly what I was talking about before. As we as a community of 5,000 get bigger, and as the county gets bigger, we really have to think about regionalization. Elk Point, the county, and the town of St. Paul collectively together have 13,000 to 14,000 people. We can't do it alone. The pressures are just too much. And if we want to move forward in the future with all of these pressures going on, our budget won't do it. So collectively together we can. Thank you.
Thank you. Sylvie, read again? Yeah. With rising costs for utilities and property taxes, how would you manage the town's budget to keep services affordable while ensuring long-term financial stability?
Yeah. Well, I think, first of all, we have to look into other ways that we can diversify some of our business and our economies within the community, right? We look at Iron Horse Trail running through our community that runs across Canada. It's a huge tourism attraction that we're not capitalizing on. So there are things that we can do to increase, the funding that's coming into our community. Does it always need to increase taxes to offer the services? No. We're going to have to somehow decrease the spending while still maintaining the service. But I think it's important that we look at diversifying the businesses and the opportunity and the growth that we can have within this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to go back to our councillor candidates, starting with John. Neighboring towns of similar sizes have newer facilities and more opportunities. What concrete steps would you take to ensure St. Paul keeps pace and encourages growth?
Oh man, that's a question. And I have now 1 minute, so good evening, people, okay? Town of St. Paul, thank you for welcoming us. First of all, I was taught back home, never look at other towns, never look at other homes. Look what you have and what ability you have. We're surrounded with two counties. One, Lac La Biche, which they have actually joined county now. We have Bonneville, which has huge amount of the taxes from oil and gas services. We could not compete with them. We should take, because we're going to put our seniors into old folks home because they could not afford to pay for power and bills. Our water increases. Actually, yesterday was the first day, isn't it? So we have to first focus what we have, try to make our resources workable, and then slowly grow with catching up of other neighboring, our neighbors, I should say, yes? Oh, thank you. I still have time.
Thank you. Okay, Norman?
Well, we're going to give this, might upset a few people here from the county, but we have to start getting the county to pay their fair share. Because right now the county isn't paying their fair share for rec, they're not paying their fair share for library, and that's putting the town taxpayers on the hook for everything. So we have to start getting these people that are coming from out of town using our facilities, paying for our facilities. That's one way. And another thing is we have to have realistic expectations. We can't have a C2 center. We just don't have the tax base or the oil money or the air base money. But we can have a nice facility that may have a soccer, indoor soccer, could have a running track in it and that sort of thing. But we have to start somewhere. Thank you.
Thank you. Nathan?
Do you mind repeating quickly, please?
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Neighboring towns of similar sizes have newer facilities and more opportunities. What concrete steps would you take to ensure St. Paul keeps pace and encourages growth?
I think we got to look at different ways to bring some money in. I know there's granting out there that can be applied for. I had somebody bring up to me that maybe a position that the town could look at is finding somebody to strictly look for granting, whether that's a councillor committee. Look to our neighboring communities to pitch in. Norm touched on the county of St. Paul. We're a community, a lot of people use our services here. And what we have is pretty good. I mean, for a small community, we mentioned we're not going to have the C2 Center, the Bold Center. That's different. We have things we can develop here. People are used to what we have here. We appreciate it. And I think, you know, we all want more, but we're reasonable in knowing what we can get. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to our next three councillors with a new question. We'll be starting with Roger. What role should council play in encouraging affordable and accessible housing?
Council can play a huge role in this. There are grants that we can apply for from the provincial government, and that is something that council has to work very hard at, is to try and get all the as many grants as we can from the provincial government. I don't feel that this area gets enough from the provincial government as it is, and we should push to get a lot more than what we are getting.
Thank you. Dean?
Could you repeat the question?
You bet. What role should council play in encouraging affordable and accessible housing?
Well, affordable housing is critical to keep this community alive. I support that development, but that includes affordable housing. Just like Roger says, is if there is provincial, federal money out there, we need to use every resource we can to find that. Because I truly believe that everybody needs a roof over their heads.
Thank you. Sid?
In this town, I'm a landlord, so I think it starts from me as a councillor. My rental house is on 45th Street. My rent is not that high. I always have a renter, so I believe in that. Go talk to people, go talk to apartments and find out, like, see what rent is going on. Is it fair? If someone is charging you people high rent, anything, you know what? That's fine, it's their choice, but go help the people who are looking for rent and can't afford them. Go find a place for them which is affordable. Like my rental place is always full. They come in and out. I don't charge extra rent. charge reasonable rent. So things are possible, but we have to go and, out in the market and look for it, I think. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to switch back to our mayors. I'm going to be starting with Sylvie. St. Paul is sometimes perceived as lacking a clear vision and being not open for business. As mayor, what specific steps will you take in your first year to change that image and stimulate economic growth?
Well, at first, thank you for the question. I think collaboration is key. Collaboration amongst municipal partners, collaboration amongst businesses, associations within the community. I think we have some key assets that we are not really optimizing. We are part of the ABMA, Alberta Bilingual Municipalities Association, and I've been working hard to bring even bilingual tourism within our community. And so, how can we grow our community? We just need to look at what we have and capitalize on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Glenn?
I think that when you look at the big scheme of things, it all comes down to what you have to pay for taxes. When you have to pay high taxes in a community, then you push business away. If you had a building in town, you had to have taxes, your rent would increase to incorporate the taxes so you could make a profit. That is hurting our community right now. With the taxes that we got, people look at it, people aren't going to look at us if we don't get together and we move to the future. I really believe we have a chance for the future with 3 municipalities, but I think alone we're flogging a dead horse. Anyone, you look at the rent out there, if a big company comes in, they'll raise the rent. If we think we're going to live and watch this grow, we have to really open our minds and communicate into the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving back to councillors, I'm going to be starting with Nathan. What would you do to strengthen partnerships with local organizations, businesses, and Indigenous communities? One more time? Yeah, you bet. What would you do to strengthen partnerships with local organizations, businesses, and Indigenous communities?
Okay, so there's 2 parts to that I see. One is that for the local groups and organizations, the best dollars, tax dollars that we can provide are to the ones that are matching with the community organizations that are fundraising. So when people come to town and say the town should spend money on this, my question is the town willing to put in money first? Is there an organization? I know that there are clubs in town that have some cash and they want to partner with us and we put money together and then we add in a grant that's a 3-way partnership and we can fund these things. That's an efficient way of working together. As far as Indigenous, we need to start building better relationships and more relationships with our First Nations leaders. I think that has been something that I can only speak for myself, haven't done enough of. And it will take us having to first build friendships and relationships. I know some of my fellow councillors have better relationships, but all of council together needs to build friendships with those people. I'm talking about the council members of our First Nations neighbors first, so that then when we have challenges, we can talk to them through those challenges. But we have to build relations first.
Robert?
That's a very good question, and I have an interesting story about building relationships with the Native communities. I recently bought $1,500 worth of lumber that got delivered from Saddle Lake today. That is a big step in building relationships with the Native people in our communities. As far as building relationships with organizations in town, I have not been approached and I'm not aware of any of these concerns up to date. That's all I have to say on it.
Thank you. Gary?
Just kind of going off what Nathan was saying, for the community grants and the organizations in town, I think we are very open for them to approach town council for funding. We do have an operating and also a capital grant that we do give out to those organizations. On the side of relationships, I would say one of the biggest and probably the first step that the next council should do is try to open the doors and meet with the councils of our respective First Nations. It is something that as a council, I know we haven't done as a whole, but I think for the councillors to get together and to interact and bring everything out to the table, I think would be a great idea.
Thank you. And we'll move on to our last set of counselors for the clumped up questions, starting with Dwight. Access to family physicians and other healthcare professionals is a growing concern. What role should council play in attracting and keeping these professionals in our community?
Yeah, I've actually heard that quite often. And it is something that has probably become more of a concern over the last few years as well. And we need to be able to collaborate with that area. We need to be able to talk to those physicians. We need to be able to access the people that they know. And also we need to work on our community. We need to make sure that our community is a place that these doctors want to go to and make it a place they want to go to. So in other words, hello. Okay. So in other words, basically what I'm saying is there's going to be a lot of collaboration that is going to be needed to be done with our doctors, working every way together to make sure that we have enough doctors in this community to serve everyone when they need it. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ronald.
I thought you had forgot about me.
Never.
Actually, I'm glad I got that question because in the last 4 years, our biggest accomplishment has been recruiting doctors and retaining them. And our biggest, our most important person was the mayor that looked after getting these doctors to come in and get them certified, along with nurses. So kudos to Maureen and all the work she did on behalf. Now, when we were in the boom years of 2007 to 2014, we built a medical clinic, and the reason we did that was to attract more doctors and try and retain them as much as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, back to our mayoral candidates. No, you get to have a break for a minute. Yeah, I'll come back to you. But I like the eagerness. It's very good. So we're going to start with Glenn on this one. How should the town invest in public safety so all residents feel safe and secure?
Well, you already pay $2 million a year for policing, and I don't know how much more secure we can get. You always fight that one. It's been there before I was involved with politics. It was there when I was there, and it's still there. By basis of being at 5,000 population, we pay 70% of the cost of policing for the community, plus the staff in the RCMP administration. We don't hire them, we just pay them. So we pay rent in there, and we pay for the policing, and we can belabor this all we want. They're going to go fight for their member no matter where it is in the jurisdiction. It may not be here. And it's an ongoing battle. Is it a good battle? No, but we still have to respect it because governments higher than us have made that decision. And I myself have met many times with the Solicitor General in the legislature, and she's just a pawn as well because she didn't know there's a timeline on the 5,000.
Sylvie?
Well, I think we're incredibly lucky to have such a big policing facility in our community where we have opportunity for the police to stay here and move around in different units so they can stay here for longer, but they also can cover and back up. So we have perhaps more police here in our community than other communities or have the size of the community. Now, I would also say that we could perhaps increase the use of the bylaw officer and expand the services that the bylaw officer offers to the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we have enough time for a few more questions, I believe. So this next question is directed to all council candidates. We're going to start with Maurice. See, I told you. And this one, although it is going to be asked to all of you, and we're going to be hearing 17 different answers, do take the time to really think about it and put your spin and your perspective on it, okay? And I did not write these, just so everyone knows. Okay, do you believe the current council compensation and per diems are fair for the time and responsibility involved? Would you support changes, and why?
Thank you. Coming from other working in another municipality and seeing what they get paid, like in Lac-La-Biche County when I was there, I do feel that there is a fair compensation. I know sometimes it's hard because you say, well, they're only attending 3 council meetings, but there's a lot more behind the scenes that you don't know. That current council and mayor do attend committees and other conferences away from town. There's a per diem. I'm not running for council for the money. Like, it's not for me. That's not why I'm doing this. But I do think it is a fair compensation. If you were to actually do some research on compensation for councils in our own Lakeland area, St. Paul is probably one of the lowest paying, biggest honorariums for their council and mayor. If you just look at what Bonneville pays, Lac-La-Biche County pays, Coal Lake pays, we're talking $80,000 for a council member, $120,000 for a mayor or a reef. So I do feel it's fair. Thank you.
Thank you. Brad?
Well, I'll tell you right now, I'm committed to my community. To do this public service in this town of St. Paul, I surely don't do it for the money. There are times where our meetings are relatively short, and what we get paid per diem probably doesn't really reflect that time, to be honest. But having said that, there are times and days and nights and during my day job where it's a nonstop door and discussion and conversation to better our community. The time spent after hours at home, studying, being informed, being knowledgeable about what we're doing. I sell cars. I don't know nothing about garbage before I got in here, and learning garbage is extremely difficult, to be honest. And it's a never-ending battle. You're always on a learning curve, and a lot of that I take home with me to make sure that I'm prepared for I don't embarrass myself and embarrass my community. Thank you.
Thank you. David? Absolutely. Do you believe the current council compensation and per diems are fair for the time and responsibility involved? Would you support changes, and why? Just give us 1 sec.
I would support, hello? Hi. I would like to change our travel time allowance. I believe it's high. We're already getting paid for our transportation for our vehicles, and I believe we should cut from the top and make an example to our community for lowering our taxes. I also believe that we have to bring trust to our taxpayers with less money being spent at the top.
Thank you. David.
I'm definitely not going to run for council with the idea that my bank account is going to get bigger. I've, over the years, done many, many jobs where I've been elected to different positions. I have, to this date, never had a bank account that was larger when my position was over than it was when I started. I think that the money that is being offered as compensation is plenty adequate. I do not believe that there needs to be any type of increases. In fact, one thing I can categorically state, that if it comes up, and when it does come up, I will be voting against, if I'm elected, for any increase to any of the compensation for myself or the rest of council. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Timothy?
Thank you very much for the question. I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I said to myself, why are these people getting paid so much? 30,000 plus another 10,000. So the first thing I would do if I got on council is I would commit to lowering the pay and put a motion forward between 10 and 25%. They're overpaid. I don't know what the per diem is, but all I know is the salary is 30 and another 10, it's too much. Given the hours they work. Now, if they start working 30 and 40 hours a week, I'm all for it, but that's not happening. So we need less committee as well. At $100 an hour, we got committees after committees after committees. Why can't we just have a chamber? They're getting their salary anyway, so have more chamber meetings. And oh, by the way, one more thing. I don't think we need 41% of our chamber meetings to be closed. Thank you.
Thank you. Lexmanen?
Yeah, I didn't know councillor get paid. I thought when I nominated, this is a volunteer time. For me, it's like if we getting paid or any kind of money, or the according to other councillors, candidate says like it's more than 30,000-40,000. It's like more money, I guess. It's kind of, for in my perspective, it's like a volunteer time and more responsibility in my community, my neighborhood, because I rooted in this community, my family, my kids, and everybody rooted in this community. So that's our time, I guess. Thank you.
Thank you. John?
Anyway, you know, that's a very, very tough question. Let us be honest. I came from different country. My father was in politics. He was not paid for his position, even being a councillor or mayor of his town. That was a voluntary position which people are giving in. The same like my friend here. When I walked in first time to town of St. Paul, I didn't have idea councillor paid. And that's my fault because I was not interested in politics. I can't blame nobody for that. What I will promise to you, if you're going to choose me, I will definitely be against any kind of crease of the pays to nobody. But in the same time, I strongly believe we are a leader. I mean, we could be a leader with your will. And I strongly believe if there is a need or a project for the safety, especially with crime in this town, we should be, as leaders, to cut some of our pays to support our town. So make sure people in town know that we care. Thank you.
Thank you. Normand?
Well, I believe we are paid fairly. The reason saying that is if you actually got a chance to go over the financials properly, it's not showing properly what you're seeing there. So I use myself as an example. I think I'm at $52,000. Well, I use my truck to haul 5 councillors to every convention and conference, and I get paid for mileage. But that doesn't cover my truck expense, that doesn't cover my fuel, that doesn't cover my insurance, that doesn't cover none of that. It shows a big dollar amount, but it really isn't a big dollar amount once you take your expenses away from it. The same thing with our meals. It shows that as a benefit. And is it a benefit when you're going to a meeting all day to get a lunch? I don't think so. But I wouldn't vote for huge increases, no. But you have to realize that what you're seeing on those financials is not the true picture. Thank you.
Thank you. Nathan?
There's been a lot of discussion with this lately. Personally, I know the numbers are probably right, but I'll speak for myself and for what I'm hearing from people. They want to know that they're earning it. That's hard-earned tax money. People say, you know what, it's a SHTY, bad word, job. They wouldn't do it, but they'll gladly pay that if they feel that the people are earning it. So that's what people are saying. Personally, I think it's enough. I don't know all the details, but I would push to say, hey, let's stand with our taxpayers, our residents, maybe for a year or two. Let's cut our salaries back a little bit, a little bit of a percentage, and say, here's $50 to every taxpayer this year, to show we're with you and we're doing what we can for you. I know the extra hours, my personal business, I do hours on end that I don't get paid for. So I'm used to that, and I'm ready to do it for the town of St. Paul.
Thank you. Roger?
I didn't know we were getting paid for this. When I put my name in to run for council, I had no idea if a councillor made $500 a month, $1,000, $2,000. I did it because I wanted to do something for my community. And now that I see what the actual pay is, I think it's more than enough. In fact, if I was to be elected councillor, if I'm able to, I would opt out of the benefit package that the councillors receive. I think that would be a start. I want to make our town where we don't have to raise taxes, and that's how I would start, is by not accepting the benefit package. Thank you.
Thank you. Dean?
Roger, you must have seen what I wrote down, because I just wrote down, I didn't know you were getting paid for this either. But listen, being a business owner for the last 30 years, everybody could say, we're going to cut this, cut that. And the guys that have been on council should know what this is truly worth. Just like an employee of mine, if he is worth that $30 an hour, I believe he should get it. You guys could sit here and say cut, like I say, cut to get some votes or do what you wanna, but this, I can guarantee you, is a hard job. And I'll tell you what, I am ready to put in more than the $30,000 that the town is going to pay a council member. Thank you.
Thank you. Sid?
It's a tough question, for sure. Everyone needs to be educated. Everyone needs education here. We think like councillors not doing anything or they're not doing much. Try to spend a month with them. You'll know what they do. They have meetings. They sit there with the board members. There is lots of board members. They have to take the decision. I'm not saying they should get this big paycheck or whatever. We have a financial guy at the office. He knows what he's doing, right? And if you think it should be cut, I don't know. Like, it's hard. Elections coming. You will see new councillors coming. I want to see a surprise of cutting cut here. Like, it's not an easy job. Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Nathan?
just to be clear, it's $125 for a 4-hour meeting. It's not $100 per hour. I think the per hour per diem is fine for the meetings, but I do think that we can cut back on specifically conventions. You have to justify why you're going to the convention and what purpose there is. I also think that for the waste conventions that me and Maxine have attended on behalf of Evergreen, it makes sense. But we'll end up spending a lot of councillors, not only from the town of St. Paul, but from Elk Point, from a lot of, like, there'll be 8 or 9 people going to the same convention from cross municipalities. So regionalized municipality would solve that. The benefits package was installed last term, or at the start of this term, to encourage new young people, specifically women who might be working a part-time job, to get a benefits plan and encourage them to run. It is optional for the family, but it's not optional for the counselors. So because I work same place as Roger, I get a great benefits plan. I turned it down for my family, but I was required to take it for council. And that's why benefits should be there for people who need it, but council is a part-time job, and that benefit should be there for the people who need it, not for the people like me who are working full-time and get benefits through something else.
Robert?
Thank you again. That's a very interesting question, because I did a lot of research on that, because I wanted to be clear and decisive on what the town council is getting paid. And believe me, they're one of the lowest of all the communities in the area. And that surprised me. And this question also surprises me because I don't think it belongs in this format, because if people did their research, they would understand that these councillors that have been working very hard in the past are doing it for much less than most of the communities that surround us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Gary?
I'm okay with the current levels that are being paid on the remuneration, but moving forward, that'll be the next council's decision to review the remuneration package. I would love to see a comparison between other communities, between 5 to 7, 8,000 people, to make sure that we are paying our councillors and our mayor appropriately and properly. Thank you.
Thank you. Dwight?
I can't stand and pretend that I know the work ethic of every single councilman here. But the fact is that from past experience, I know that it is a lot of hard work. And I think that some of the comments that have been made here so far are justified. And the fact that we need to look at it, or the new councilmen need to look at it, they need to look at each area and decide for themselves what exactly should they be getting for each individual line, as they say. And so if they look at that, they can come up with a reasonable answer to that question and look forward to moving ahead in their decisions that they make. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ronald?
I don't believe there should be an increase in wages. However, anybody that runs for council because of the wages shouldn't be running. They should be running because they're committed to the community. And another reason for wages is that we're committed to twice a month to meet on the second and fourth Monday of each month. Then we have a lot of committee meetings. Some months I have 7 or 8 meetings. Some of them last 2 hours, some last 3 hours. I get a lot of emails, I get a lot of phone calls. So yes, we're not overly paid, but we don't need an increase neither. Thank you.
Thank you. See, I knew you guys could all come up with different answers. You did a great job. We're going to move to last question for our mayoral candidates, and we're going to be starting with Glenn on this one. Nope, sorry, Sylvia on this one. Apologies. Post-secondary education opportunities close to home are valued by our community. With the recent right-sizing consultation by Portage College, what role does council see in supporting local education?
Well, thank you for the question. This past year, we announced that there would be a Northeast Collegiate started here in the community, and that's with 4 local school divisions teaming up together, and that's the power of collaboration. Now, we would love to have the municipalities at the table to help with the collegiate model and with expanding, because if we can't keep and educate our kids here, where are they going to go? Are they going to come back? Unfortunately, a lot of times, the answer is no. They do go away, they don't come back. And then we see families move away. So I think it's key that the community and the town specifically supports this model. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's an easy question for me. When I was a mayor and on council last time, GA School was there. The Portage was in part of it. And the then MLA, Ray Danilek, tried to get the town of St. Paul to take the other part. And we did site meetings. We did 5 or 6 site meetings. He intimidated us. He did everything. And we insisted that he go after the money from the educational minister to get Portage access to it. And to this day, They have that kitchen in there. They've expanded, and we're full in support of education and post-secondary in St. Paul. So we supported it for a long time, and I'd support education for everybody all the way through. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, you guys are expedited and very efficient with your time. We're a little bit ahead of schedule, but we're going to move into the closing summaries for the evening. So huge thank you to everyone for participating in the question period. You guys did a great job. It's not an easy job, even before you're elected, and you're doing wonderful. So I'm going to invite the council candidates to share their 1-minute closing remarks. We're going to start with Brad and work our way down alphabetically, and then we'll circle back.
All right, well, you know what? Over the last 8 years, our community has come a long way. This council has put a lot of work in. Whatever was in front of me, I was transparent, responsible, and engaged, fueled by our success. Focused on our community priorities and leading our town forward. But here's the real deal, though. Change might be in the air, and so is the BS. So be wise with your vote. Don't fall for the buzzwords, especially my favorite. I'm going to lower taxes. See who sat at the council table with a voice and engaged in conversations. See who will make the tough calls in the best interest of our town. Ask the people knocking on your door and using these buzzwords, making the bold election promises. Ask them how they're going to lower taxes while increasing levels of services. What programs, departments, and quality of life are they going to slash? Buzzwords are easy to say. Experience does matter, and so does character. And I have both. So be responsible and vote even. And I'm going to also add, you're not going to save a whole lot of dollars of taxpayers' money on travel time.
Thank you. David?
My commitment is to work hard with council to move St. Paul in a positive direction. I value our seniors who built the foundation of our town, and I believe in our young families who are our future. My vision is simple: to make town a healthier, more affordable, and safer place to live by bringing our community together as a stronger whole. With my dedication and your support, we can make that change happen. Thank you for all being here tonight, and thank you to the Chamber hosting. Why you should vote for me? I promise to work hard, manage our financials responsibly, and bring your concerns forward. A vote for me is a vote for change, for a brighter, safer future for St. Paul.
Thank you. David?
As I said when I was doing my opening remarks, I would continue. Basically, it's out of my campaign brochure. When we drive down Main Street in St. Paul, we see a lot of things that are not pleasant. A lot of this has to do with mental health issues, and a lot of it has to do with addictions. I'd strongly advocate for a third floor in the hospital to be renovated and used for a recovery unit. If that recovery unit is used for addictions treatment and counseling, we are going to cure some of our problem on the street, definitely not take care of it all, but we're also going to lower the crime rate. When we start caring for people, we live up to the motto of people, kind of place. And I think that's very important for our community. We also make it much more attractive for people to come and do business here, and thereby helping to reduce our tax levels as time goes on. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Timothy?
Thank you, Aaron and Chamber of Commerce, all the local residents that came. On October 20th, my birthday, you have the chance to vote for change. For too long, we've seen rising taxes, questionable spending, and decisions made without transparency. I believe our community does deserve better. I bring proven experience in management and fiscal accountability. I know what I'm talking about. And I will ensure that every tax dollar is respected. I will be a strong, honest voice for the people, committed to integrity, openness, and putting residents first. Together we can bring back common sense to council. I ask for your support and your vote to move our community forward with accountability, transparency, and real change. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Lexmanan?
Thank you. Thank you for the Alberta Chamber of Commerce to create this opportunity. And thank you for you all being here, listening us, and caring for the future of St. Paul. I mean, the ideas, the fresh ideas and fresh perspective, not only enough to be create any change, it's needed about experience and the skill capabilities to hold the decisions. The country we have an excellent system of governance and programs and opportunities, but how effective these are depends on how we use them, the values we uphold and the leadership we choose. So October 20th, you all have a responsibility to vote, and we will stand together to build the St. Paul, town of St. Paul. Thank you.
Thank you. John?
Residents of St. Paul, it is inspiring to see so many of you engage in this election. The choices we make on October 20th will shape the future of our town. We cannot go backwards or stand still. We need progress. The progress starts with safety. Our families deserve stronger emergency services and a clear plan to reduce crime. When people feel safe in their homes and neighborhoods, our town thrives. We also face serious shortage of medical doctors. Residents should not have to travel far or wait too long for care. We must work to attract and keep healthcare professionals right here in town of St. Paul. I bring ideas, passion, and commitment, and I will lead the integrity and professionalism. On the election, I respectfully ask you to support and you vote for me for a safer, healthier, and stronger St. Paul. You can talk to me about that after our meeting.
Thank you. Norman?
Well, I'd like to thank, first of all, the Chamber for hosting tonight, and thank you for all coming here. Otherwise, you'd have 19 people here babbling over nothing, really. But I want to start off by telling you, over the past term, I've shown that I don't shy away from expressing my views, even when they may not be the most popular in the room. I believe that council makes its best decisions when every perspective is heard openly and honestly. And at the same time, I've always been willing to have my mind changed, and I'm not afraid to have it changed. And there has to be a balance of speaking up with conviction, but staying open to better ideas. It is how we make the best choices for our town. My goal has never been to win an argument. It's been to help move our community forward with fair, thoughtful, and responsible decisions. I love this town. I've lived here all my life. I want to keep working for a stronger, safer, and more vibrant community for all of us. I'd be honored for your vote on the 20th. Thank you.
Thank you. Nathan?
A couple things in my life I take serious, my work and my family. To me, the town of St. Paul is the biggest business in town. I run my own business. I would treat it as such. We'd be paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to deal with millions and millions of everybody's tax-paying money. That's an important job. You still need to be the family connection, I think, which everyone has been. I came here tonight as a voter as well. I'm safe to say that I'm very impressed with what everybody up here has. Easily more than enough candidates, I think, that will treat our town how we deserve. I'm hoping I'm one of them. If not, I'm confident after tonight, personally, that our town's in good hands. I guarantee, as a hard worker, I will go to bat for everyone and do my best for this town.
Thank you. Roger?
Thank you all for coming tonight. I've been working in the oil and gas industry for the past 33 years, of which 10 of those years were in management. During those years, I was involved in the preparation of multi-million-dollar budgets. Although there is a difference between private and public sector budgets, really both are looking for balanced budgets with a profit of some kind without having to increase rates year after year. Should I be elected, I would work towards fiscally responsible budgets without going to the ratepayers for tax increases. I look forward to working with the new mayor and either new council members or some that currently sit on council. We all have different ideas, and I will listen and discuss with all council members respectfully. Thank you.
Thank you. Dean?
Thank you for your time today and allowing me to share some of my vision for our town. Together we can shape the future that honors our values and makes our community special. I believe in transparency, inclusive leadership that listens, engages, and takes action. Together we can make our community stronger. Thank you for considering me as your representative on the next town council. And also, St. Paul Junior B Canadians play this Saturday, 7:30, versus the Lloyd Bandits.
So first, thank you for coming. All I'm hearing here is, I'll do this, I will do that. Please, when you vote, vote wisely and see who you're voting. And once you vote, go see your councillors if they don't come and see you. You elect them for 4 years, not for 4 months. You elect them for 4 years, not for 4 months. Don't go see one councillor. You have 6 of them. You have mayor. So go see them. Talk to them. I'm going to businesses. I'm getting surprised. Like, no one goes to businesses. People go to doors. I'm sorry if I missed your door. It's tough. Each door there's lots of houses when we go. Some people will listen to you, some will not, right? But businesses, I am surprised. You will see my posters there. Please go talk to businesses also. They need support. And thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you. Nathan?
Thank you. So by Monday, I should have answers on my blog, nathantaylor.ca, for any of the questions that I wasn't asked, because I would like to provide my answers for them. I have a unique experience in being one of, if not the youngest councillor or candidate on here, having yet 13 years of experience across 2 municipalities. For those who didn't know, I served 2 terms in Smoky Lake before coming here to St. Paul. And that unique experience gives me a very strong understanding of finances. And the example that I'll bring that I'm most proud of is the Evergreen Regional Landfill, where I serve as the vice chairman, and the chairperson is here with us as well, Maxine. And that commission used to run annual deficits every single year. And 8 years ago, I told council, put me on there for 2 years, and if we don't have surplus, you can take me off. We've run surpluses for the last 7 years, and we did it by diversifying revenue, by cutting costs, and without raising tipping fees at the landfill. So I have a clear track record of improving financial positions. When working together with the entire board of the 7 members, we had a unified goal of making that happen. It wasn't me alone, it was all 7 members, but we can be done.
Thank you. Robert?
Thank you, everybody, for coming here, and all the volunteers that put in the hard work to set this place up, and we'll clean it up after we leave. I'd like to bring to everybody's attention that this is key, at least in my heart, that we build relationship with our Indigenous people in the county of St. Paul. I'd also like to bring to everybody's attention that I will work diligently on collaboration between the communities. I think we all have to come together to save taxpayers' money. The communities together are stronger than as individuals. I also want to mention that the most valuable asset for the town is their employees. Investing in employees is a wise decision and is a cost-saving measure in the long run.
Thank you. Gary?
Thank you. It's been my privilege to represent the town the last 4 years, and would be very honored to have your vote coming up on October 10th or the 20th, the early voting or the election day on the 20th. In closing, I only ask all of the people of the town of St. Paul to come out and vote. It will be a big year for everybody here at this table, and thank you to everybody who came out tonight and to the town of St. Paul Forum.
Thank you. Dwight?
As you consider your choice for council, I want to leave you with this. I'm committed to accountability, to protecting taxpayers through responsible financial decisions, to encouraging growth that strengthens our economy. And I couldn't imagine that if we're going on our own, we need to put a lot of effort into encouraging business and industry into this area. We want to be able to control those taxes for residents and to protect and proactive leadership that prepares St. Paul for the future. To me, this election is about the betterment of St. Paul, to better our community. And through that, I would say if the status quo is fine, then I can accept that. But if it's not, I would encourage you to go out, vote, and I would appreciate your vote coming up October 10th or the 20th. And also, if you want, in the back, I've got a QR code from my website that you can take a closer look at.
Thank
and
you.
if you have any questions, let
Thank
me
you.
know. Thank you.
I have always been committed to the community. What I bring to the table, I bring some financial, administrative, and council experience. And I am a team man. I love to work with our fellow councilors. I love to work with administration. And we try and make the best possible choice from the information that is given to us from the administration. And our choice is to satisfy the majority of our residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Maurice.
St. Paul is more than just where I live. It's my home, it's my roots, and the future I want to help shape for our families. I'm not a career politician. I'm a parent, I'm a coach, I'm a volunteer, and someone who believes in doing the work to make the town better. I'm running with a fresh energy, practical ideas, and collaborative spirit to council. That's what I want to bring. I'd be honored to earn your support on election day and look forward to hearing your thoughts and concerns in coming days, knocking on your doors and connecting with you. Just want to add something too as well. You know, I got asked what my election platform was going to be the day I kind of announced I was running. I told the person that asked, I said, I don't have that yet because it's not what I want, it's what actually the residents want. And so I can't give you that because my ideas might not be what actually the residents want to see. So I look forward to your support. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to turn it over to our mayoral candidates. No, Glenn, you're going to go first. Sylvia's going to close it off. I get to be the boss.
Thank you, Dana. Thanks, Aaron. Thank you, the Chamber of Commerce. And thank all of you for coming out and getting engaged. I think the future is bright for St. Paul, and I think if we're all open-minded and we're all engaged, we all communicate, I think great things can happen. We won't be 3 municipalities. I think we can be one, and one productive one. There are a lot of interesting ideas out there. Everybody wants this big complex. You know what? If you say it and you work with the right people, things can happen. So I thank you for considering me for this position, and I appreciate you coming out tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Dana. You're a great moderator. And thank you to the community residents for being engaged in this process. This is an important part of a democracy, is engagement. And here we see lots of engagement. So thank you to the town council as well. And all the councilors, candidates. And thank you, Glenn, for being here tonight. I want to just take a minute to say I think St. Paul is a great place to call home. There are many things that are great about this community. And there are things that, of course, can be better. Always, always. And so I hope to, with the support of you and the next council, create a better place to call home so that our kids can continue to call this home. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I mean, we are ahead of schedule, but it's the nature of the beast. I just want to say thank you, huge thank you to all the candidates for coming here tonight, for being part of this event. It takes a massive amount of personal commitment to run for public office, and I think everyone deserve a huge round of applause just for showing up for your town tonight. As the candidate said, thank you to everyone that came out tonight to take part in this forum. The community involvement in this town, it's really encouraging to see being involved in your local politics in this way. I hope this has given you some valuable insight into the different candidates that you have available to vote for coming up in the next couple weeks. Just a reminder, it was already mentioned, the advanced polls are opened October 10th here at the Rec Center. And then Election Day is October 20th. So please make sure you take advantage of these opportunities to make your voice heard. Your participation in these elections is vital to shape your community and strengthen it. I would also like to thank the St. Paul and District Chamber of Commerce, all of their volunteers, their staff for coordinating this forum for the community. You guys do have an incredible chamber. It speaks to the strength of your business community. And for any members of the business community that are here tonight, I strongly encourage you to connect with your Chamber of Commerce. They are a strong voice at not only the local, but the provincial and the federal level for your community. Once again, thank you to the candidates for sharing your perspective. Thank you to everyone for being so well behaved. I barely had to do anything, so awesome. And have a very safe evening getting home, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Sorry. Can I just thank Tyler for doing an awesome job with the audio and the video and all the effort put in there. Just wanted to shout out to Tyler as well.